Simple rules for a life in hiding. Never spend stolen money stuffing your face out of Gelson's while wearing Crocs. And if ever told to look at yourself, never look.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. Remember that time when a bunch of people were allowed to commit literal murder and burn down our cities and rip down our statues because they didn't like the skin color of the statues? Because the statue's skin color was wrong? Remember that? Remember that time that they killed at least 30 different black people in their Black Lives Matter mobs, riots, and terrorist events throughout the country? Remember that time when all of these people were given a free pass to act like the criminals that they are, and nobody did anything about it? Remember when they said this was going to heal the country? Remember when they said that these are like the best people ever, when they actually turned out to be criminal fraudsters who organized the toppling of statues, but are now federally charged and jailed for years because they misspent all of their donor money? Remember the top of this pyramid being somebody named Patrice Cullors? Patrice Cures, who admitted that she was a trained Marxist?
I also think that it might, I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories. And I think that what we really try to...
We are trained Marxists and we're versed on ideological theories. Amazing how that works. Amazing how Marxist theories always leads to the destruction of the country in which they are implemented. It's almost like this was all planned. It's almost like there was a Trojan horse called the BLM organization that was used to create Marxism in their country and nothing else actually of value. Like, for instance, Patrice Cures, since the BLM co-founder no longer has any money because BLM is now bankrupt and facing insolvency, she's now taking the Hunter Biden track and staging a career in art. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is correct. BLM co-founder Patrice Cures debuts LA performance art piece, group of women in matching white dresses tied together by their hair. See it? And here's Patrice Cures right up front with the white palm. Is that white face palm? White palm? I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it offensive? I don't know. I find all those Crocs offensive. Look at the amount of Crocs in this. That's what I find offensive, ladies and gentlemen. Save that bit of information for later because it'll come in handy and it's really funny. So Patrice Cures is now trying her hand at art and also trying her hand at painting herself the color of Donald Trump's hair. I thought she didn't like Donald Trump. Well, here we are with Patrice Cures painting herself in gold. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is what all of your donations paid for. Do you feel happy about that, corporate America? BLM raised $100 billion. This is what it all went to, right here. Oh, and her family and her boyfriends. So, the money well spent, corporate America. Way to go. Black Lives Matter is headed for insolvency after plunging $8.5 million into the red. Patrice Cullors' brother was still paid $1.6 million for security services in 2022. While sister of the board member earned $1.1 million for consulting. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, nonprofit that grew out of the protest movement, is hemorrhaging cash, financial records. So they're going to effectively, it's amazing. Like, if you want reparations, here you go. Here's your reparations. Corporate America coughed up, and gullible libs coughed up $100 million for Black Lives Matter. And no doubt people got paid, but it's the way that people get paid in every communist organization. It's just the friends of the leaders get paid, right? Joseph Stalin's allowed to own every mansion in all of Russia, but you're not allowed to own property. Remember that. We're trained Marxists. BLM, national organization at risk of going bankrupt after finances plunged to $8 million into the red this year, while simultaneously handing out multiple seven-figure salaries to the network's family members. That's how it always works. Plus, they bought a couple mansions. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Look at the size of the mansion that she bought in one of the whitest neighborhoods in all of LA. Richest and whitest neighborhoods in all of LA. Paul Cullors, one of BLM's only two paid employees during the year, is collecting a $126,000 salary as head of security on top of consulting fees. He's known as a graffiti artist with no background in security. Patrice Cullors defended hiring him, saying registered security firms which hired police officers could not be trusted. Got it? See how that fraud works? See how the con works? Yeah, amazing. The group logged a $900,000 loss on a securities sale, suggesting the group sustained 85% loss on the transaction. They've mismanaged all of their money. If there's ever an organization that needs to be federally investigated as a fraud money laundering operation, it's BLM. So, ladies and gentlemen, Patrice Cullors resigned in May of 2021. That year, the tax filing revealed that the company was effectively paying $900,000 to help produce live events to the father of Cullors' child. Keep that in mind. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we now have an update. Haven't seen a Patrice Cullors update in quite a while, but here it seems like BLM is living large once again. BLM founder Patrice Cullors is seen scarfing down lunch as she goes grocery shopping with son at Gleason's in Calabasas. Interestingly enough, this is a grocery store that had to put up new windows after getting them smashed in by BLM protesters. So enjoying all of the luxuries of decadent capitalist society. See those prices on things? See how you had to use money to buy things? See how expensive stuff is? Boy, Patrice Cullors sure does love living in decadent, pearly white Calabasas. And here she is today, ladies and gentlemen, with her son, of whom father she paid consulting fees, $1 million worth of consulting fees. It's almost like the entire thing was just fraud. How do these people get off paying millions of dollars to each other? Oh, and by the way, do those Crocs look familiar? Huh? Huh? How you like me now? Those Crocs look familiar? Oh, yeah. You've seen them before. There you go. Way to repurpose everything, Patrice. Yeah. So this is what all of your corporate donations paid for, right there. What a con. What a grift. What an embarrassment to our nation. I lived in an all-black neighborhood in Washington, D.C. The only white guy for like 7 blocks in every direction. Coached these kids football, right? Like neighborhood football team. Try to be an integrated member of the community. Knew a lot of people, a lot of great friends there. Still friends to this day. When BLM became very successful and prominent, let me tell you what, life got worse for everybody in my neighborhood, me, of course, included. But life got very bad in this black neighborhood. Life did not get better. Life got far worse. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with the result of somebody who didn't help, as far as I can tell, a single black person except for her own family and her own relatives who she was able to launder money to. And it doesn't look like she's doing great. It looks like she's doing bad, actually. She's had a lot of like other stuff canceled. Patrice Cures has had like a bunch of projects canceled. She defrauded like Netflix and other, or like she defrauded Netflix. She said she was going to like make a series with them, and she didn't make anything. Ironically, the Gleason supermarket location in Calabasas had been forced to board up its windows during the mostly peaceful protests of 2020. Yeah. Here's what all your corporate dollars are paying for, you dumbasses. One of my favorite bits of reporting ever on all of this is Candace Owens's reporting on going to this mansion in Calabasas, the BLM mansion, and asking to see Patrice Cullors. You know, this place is on lockdown. Daily Mail revealed Cullors has added a $35,000 electronic gate at her driveway for safety concerns to keep her away from Candace Owens.
Remember the BLM movement, May of 2020, when every high school girl in America was absolutely required to put a black square on her Instagram page? Remember that? BLM, everyone's for BLM. Mitt Romney marched with BLM. What was that? Well, it was a scam. Actually, it turns out it was a scam. And it really hurt the country. Candace Owens has done an entire documentary on this. It's called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, George Floyd and the Rise of BLM. For the documentary, she showed up to the gated mansion in Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles, owned by BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors. Cullors then posted a video on Instagram complaining about Candace Owens' reporting. Watch this.
So we are headed to Laurel Canyon. We've yet to see any black people in this neighborhood. So there's definitely somebody home. Hello. I was just looking to speak to whoever is at this property. Sir? Hello? I don't know if he's going to get someone. I see a very cute German Shepherd, it looks like.
This morning, I woke up to Candace Owens being outside of my house with a news crew.
I can't see how this purchase helped black lives anywhere in America. I can't even find a black life on the property. The dog's not even black, so there's that.
And so they're literally trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy me. They're trying to destroy the movement. And I just need us to be stronger.
When you live in a multi-million-dollar home in Laurel Canyon, it can be hard. Candace Owens is the person who caused the suffering you just saw. She's the producer of the brand new documentary, The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, George Floyd, The Rise of BLM, one of the bravest people we know.
So, Candace, you want to know one of the reasons why we're such big fans of Candace and why, you know, we've obviously been doing our best to, like, say that, right, in a recent environment, is that Candace does stuff like this, and it's really well done, and she's really fearless. She went on in that interview to talk about, obviously, the frauds that she was able to discover in her new documentary, the premiere of which we went to in Nashville. It's awesome. Kanye West was there. Kid Rock was there. Jason Aldean was there. Ray J was there. So it's crazy. Crazy. James O'Keefe was there. It's a very interesting time. Yeah, that's why we like Candace. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why.
Candace Owens is the person who caused the suffering you just saw. She's the producer of the brand new documentary, The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, George Floyd, The Rise of BLM, one of the bravest people we know, and one of the smartest, joins us tonight. Candace Owens, thanks so much. First of all, thank you for doing this. It's like that whole moment is forgotten. Why did you think it was important to make a documentary about it?
Because of exactly what you said, because they want you to forget it, right? They do these things, they sort of punch you in the face and then they move on and they say, nobody look any further. We're now moving on to a different narrative. It is important to pause and to reflect and to consider what happened and ask a very big question, which for whatever reason, no journalist was interested in at the time. We were all basically required to either put up a black square or donate to Black Lives Matter or to make some, statement online about how black people are suffering to make sure that Black Lives Matter would receive the $80 million that it received in 1 year. But nobody asked the question, where is all the money going? I was interested because they turned me into public enemy number one for accurately talking about George Floyd, not in the capacity of a hero, but in the capacity of a person who was addicted to drugs and who had enough fentanyl in his system to kill a horse at the time that he died. That made people angry because people were invested in the emotion of Black Lives Matter. And so, look, I'm wearing the shirt. It is the BLM symbol, but instead I've inserted some cash into it because what they really did is they robbed Americans. They robbed Americans' emotions. They extracted emotions. They used black pain to create confusion and to take millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars from people. And where did the money go, Tucker? That's what the documentary explores, and people are going to be shocked. I hope people are very behind the transgendered movement because that's where a lot of this money went, and then there's just a dead trail because the one thing that you're afforded when you decide that you are transgendered is you can change your name. So you don't know who any of these people were originally, but they received hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars of cash.
It's all... I just can't control myself and know, because I was there and I watched it. You were basically banned from all media, including some conservative outlets, but for telling the truth, the factual, documented truth about George Floyd. You were not allowed to tell the truth, which really was, I think,
exactly
a dark moment.
Right.
Let me ask you, do you know anybody, apart from the ladies living in Laurel Canyon and the transgenders you just mentioned, any actual like normal black person who benefited from BLM?
No, absolutely. It's the exact opposite. I can tell you millions of black people who suffered because they now live in the inner cities that were looted and that were rioted, and therefore the businesses picked up, which my documentary will show. They picked up and they left, because why wouldn't they leave? Obviously, if they're basically saying that crime is allowed to take place and these are zones in which there can be no policing. So these people are now suffering economically, and we of course predicted that that would be the outcome because of the BLM scam, which benefited nobody. And there are a lot of questions. In my personal opinion, this was a money laundering scheme. And it is interesting that these individuals, like Patrice Cullors, decided to host a Joe Biden inauguration party at the Black Lives Matter house. Again, all of that is in the documentary. It's stunning. And I do want to add this. My personal charity, after I announced that I was doing this documentary, I run a charity called Blexit. We received a letter 2 weeks after the trailer dropped from the IRS saying that they were going to investigate my charity. I welcome the investigation because I am not a scam artist and I do real work in the inner city communities. This is Biden's IRS once again saying you are not allowed to investigate anything that the media is complicit in.
That's unbelievable. You're a brave person. They're going to come for you at some point, as you know. Candace Owens, appreciate it. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Thank you so much.